Now, obviously, I deal with like a lot of the general public. I deal with students and all sorts of people to help them to, transform their lives in different ways. I never impose myself and say to a person, you must do this. You know, I will lay out the cards and let them know how I see things esoterically. Then they can decide for themselves which is the best route to take in a particular situation. This is how the ball rolls. And in this particular situation, it was one where there was, a lot of a very domestically troubled environment, where the lady in question desperately wanted to get out of the marriage and the home, but she had like a lot of issues that were preventing her from doing that. And so I went through a period as her teacher, her mentor, and her facilitator to assist her energetically to be able to do that. Now, it just so turns out that her then husband, who is now ex, was causing a great deal of trouble, and ended up pinning a lot of his hate basically on me for assisting her to do this. And he basically held me ultimately and completely responsible for the end of their marriage, the split of their marriage and whatnot. It turns out also at the time that he accused her of heresy, which basically means, it's like just a fancy word for witchcraft basically, for learning how to use transformation techniques and assisting people. He felt very, very threatened by that because he came from a very kind of churchy sort of background. Hey, Content Elton, how you doing today? Pancow, what's going on? So he was very, very threatened by the whole thing. So he did actually accuse her of heresy, took it to court, and even managed to get the custody of their children. Can you imagine that? That's how backward things are, in this country, whereby they believe or think that if you use energy work that it's satanic, which is absolutely preposterous. Hello to you, how are you doing? Yeah, seriously. So he seriously had it in for her, and his mission was to crush her, yeah? So, we did what we could as a team, and myself and, other students and members of the, the Fusion 7 Healing team at the time, students. We tried to assist her by finding good lawyers and to help her the best way we could so that she could get out of this situation. And very sadly, as a result, I've actually, done shows about what I'm going to tell you now also. She actually pulled back from moving forward with her career as an energy facilitator. She pulled back from that. Then that is, now I don't know where she is with that, and cut herself off from myself and the rest of the students and other people in the community that were doing other kinds of energy work. She completely cut herself off from that, and I never really heard of her again from that time. Now, this brings me to yesterday's event. Hi, Can, how you doing? This brings me to yesterday's event of what happened to me after I've described this story to you. So I am kind of convalescing from surgery at the moment, needed to go shopping, and my dad very kindly came over to take me to the grocery shop so that he can lift stuff, because I'm not allowed to lift for another few weeks or so. So I was waiting for him in the car whilst he was loading the trunk, and I had a phone call. Now, it was a local number, but I didn't know who it was. It wasn't somebody that I know of. So I pick up the phone, and the voice on the other side of the phone said to me, "Hello, is this Helen?" In Greek. He spoke in Greek. And I said, "Yes, this is she." Because I do get a lot of unknown numbers who do contact me for perhaps sessions or information about classes or, this kind of stuff. English, please. Don't know what it is that you're saying down there. So I picked up the phone, and this person, masculine voice of course, launched into a very aggressive onslaught, an attack basically, a verbal attack on the phone. he launched into a verbal attack that was extremely aggressive. Hey, Oceans, what's going on? An extremely aggressive attack, whereby I couldn't even get a word in edgeways because he was screaming at the top of his lungs. And the insults were like very low grade, very bad language, and they were also threats. So he was making threats of what he would do to me in like a sexual manner. And I was completely shocked, and at this point my dad gets in the car, so I put this guy on loudspeaker so that, you know, he and I could both hear what this guy was saying or screaming. And couldn't say a word. I tried, my dad tried, nothing. He was just screaming insult after insult after insult, and then slammed the phone down. And I was like, I just looked at my dad, and he looked at me completely stunned. And I said, this guy's a lunatic. It's like a complete and utter lunatic, you know. So I didn't think much of it really. I thought it was like a bit of a prank call. But the only thing that was playing on my mind, I thought, this guy knows my name, you know. I know there's like a lot of Helens on the island. Hey, my darling, how you doing? I know that there's a lot of Helens on the island. And what's going on, Amal? It's lovely to see you, honey. So it was playing on my mind, on my thoughts. You know, this guy, he picked up the phone and said, is this Helen? So it wasn't a complete prank. There were two situations that could be had here, right? One is that it could be one of the other Helens on the island that do energy work, because there are a few of us, so he might have mistaken me with someone else. Or it could be somebody who does know me, who is an upset husband or ex of one of my clients, who is threatening me because they're upset with a situation that I perhaps assisted them with. So these were the two potentials of what it is that could be, you know, happening here. So I had a little bit of an intuitive investigation on it. And one of the situations that did come to my consciousness was the one that I just described to you earlier on. The student who was taken to court by her husband for heresy, okay, and who was very, very upset with myself for assisting her to change her life. That did come into my awareness as one of the options as who this threat call came from yesterday. And the problem with it is that it's such a long time ago now. Like, all this happened like well over a year ago, to be honest, yeah. But I think he was like the only person that truly hated on me so much for, you know, the work that I do, you know. And in his eyes, ruining his marriage. But don't forget that this lady wanted to get out of the marriage years before she'd even met me. So it was really nothing to do about me. It was him, you know, wanting to find a scapegoat and blame me for it. Now, we do not know for a fact yet that it is this guy, but our bets are on it, and I'm going to find out literally, you know, who it is, because he did actually call from a regular number, so I'm going to investigate and find out who this man is. Now, the reason why I share this with you is because this is like one of the real disadvantages that comes with doing this work. When you are into the truth movement, okay, which I am heavily, when it comes to exposing the truth and assisting yourself or other people to help. By the way, thanks very much for the hearts, guys. I really do appreciate your hearts, and I'm almost at 1 million, so thank you for assisting me to get there. Maybe it's your hearts that will get me to that goal. Sorry for the little side thing there. But you know, when you're with a truth movement, thank you, my darling, when you're on a truth movement, and I know it's you that's putting those hearts up there, then that can come with it, okay? Please speak in English on this channel. That can come with it, and this is one of the things that's happened. Now, I have had attacks happen before in the past, like I mentioned on the other show, but in a much more subtle nature. I've never had anyone literally call me up and threaten me and call me disgusting, dirty names on the phone when I don't even know who you are. Never had that happen to me before. And it can happen if you are in this movement, the truth movement, whether you are assisting energetically, metaphysically, or just like in a more sort of like practical, real life way, where you're assisting people to look at the truth and change their lives because of it, or maybe even your own. You might not be assisting other people, but you might be assisting yourself. Some people can become very, very nasty about that, yeah? Because the bottom line is that they're either in ignorance, as I've mentioned before in other shows, or because they are scared, or a combination of both. So I will tell you that there is no joke about the combination of ignorance and fear. When you put ignorance and fear together, you've actually got a potential murderer, a killer, a warmonger, or somebody who's out to destroy you. That's what it can create. It can create. It seriously can. And I'm not saying that I don't feel when I investigated it that this guy's out to literally kill me. He just wanted to scare me. Which, to a certain degree, I must say that I did get rattled. But now that I've sort of like investigated and did my own internal work on it, I feel much better about. But that's what his goal was, and he just wanted to make me feel really, really bad. Well, let me tell you, if you're watching this, mission not accomplished. Mission not accomplished. And if you want to play dirty and you want to go to war, I'm ready for you, mate. I'm ready for you. I'm not frightened of your shit, okay? Because I know how to equip myself for this situation. And one of the most important thing is when you go into ignorance and ignore something, you are just creating a war within, okay? Which Anonymous posted this yesterday, and it was just so fitting, and it's so true. You have to deal with it. I'm not saying like be a creator of war or to promote it or induce it, definitely not. But you really do need to face darkness and face demons, because in a way I did actually induce this because of what it is that I do. So the bottom line is when you are working with the light, because of the law of dualism, okay, or polarity perhaps, then you may attract some darkness in, and that will be for you to deal with, and that is what it's all about. So if you have that coming in, then you must deal with it. And as each situation in my life has rolled in, where there has been darkness that's rolled in because I go deeper into the light, then I deal with it, okay? So one of my main issues was with myself is that I perhaps have created a pattern of attracting this because perhaps I wanted to compensate when I assist people or I assist myself, that I would compensate for that in some kind of strange way, or that I have a program that perhaps says that I must suffer when I assist the self or assist another. Now, I've had that come in all kinds of different shapes or forms, so I have to go round it at all different angles to unpluck it from my energy fields and my frequency. And so obviously it's come up again in a shape or form because of what happened yesterday. So I'm actually in the midst of working on myself energetically, metaphysically, to extract it from my space. But I'm telling you, if you're watching out there, because he must be watching me, this guy, and if he's watching, I am ready for you, okay? And I will take you down. I will take you down, okay? And I'm not afraid to do it. So hi to you, how are you doing? So I'm good and I'm kind and I'm compassionate, but don't mess with me, don't fuck with me, okay? Don't go there, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. So this is what I'm saying to all of you. Fear not. Look at, allow yourself to go in there, in that, that dark, dirty place, and always allow the truth to be the guidance that is with you. I always say at an end of a show, right? always allow, may truth always be the guiding force